Okay, so today's topic is inspired from Brian. He had actually emailed saying potentially we talk about habits that hold you back from your goals or just saying no this week. So yeah, Kim, so the Monday morning thing is going to be Brian and I discussing a topic. And we're just going to do it during the normal time. And let's see. So I wanted to bring up a couple of things this morning, which is, I think these are related. So just saying no, habits that hold you back. This is like really common. A lot of people reach out with these types of prompts, but I think if you have the right habits, it crowds out the other things. So like one thing I'm going to add in this week is buffer time. I want to add in buffer time between every single task. That way, in case something takes longer, it will be fine. It won't pull me off track. I'm thinking 10 minutes in between each task. So if I get done earlier, I will just continue on to the next task. I'm not going to wait for the 10 minutes to expire. I'll just have that just in case. So if there's 8 or 9 different habits I do each day, I'll have an hour buffer in there to get it done. But Brian, let's talk about, we can talk about a habit that would hold you back. Well, I would rather talk about a habit that you can do and you won't, like, we talk about habit stacking. What if your whole day was just positive habit stacking and there was no time left for bad ones?
Yeah, well, the reason I thought of that was last week in the book club, we talked about, I think, chapter 4 of Atomic Habits. And the focus was being aware of your habits. Like actually writing down all of your habits, being aware of them was the first step. And then figuring out, are those positive habits that are going to get you closer towards your goal? Are they neutral, they don't affect it, or are they negative that actually impede your goal? And so thinking about that and kind of going through the day, especially on the reselling end, I think there are certain things that I know that I've been doing, like the phone. I think that's probably common for a lot of people, the notifications. Like it sidetracks me. I'm stopping and having to restart. So I think what I need to do is have my phone not in here while I'm doing my one thing as far as reselling. And then the other thing that's holding me back is like other tabs. Even if it's a different platform that I sell on, checking emails or notifications is also holding me back. And then tonight in the book club, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, by the way, we're going to be talking about building new habits, which is exactly what you're talking about, the habit stacking, the intentional setting a time and a date is the other part of creating these positive habits. But before you can habit stack and build the positive habits, I think you need to be aware of all of your habits, both the good, the bad, well, not necessarily the ugly, but the neutral. So those were kind of my thoughts.
Okay, I got you. So let's talk about the phone one. This is a good one. So let's talk about good phone habits. Notifications, I think 0 for social media ones. Does anybody need that turned on? Probably not, right?
No, I think that would just get in the way of reselling for sure. I mean, and here's a good example, even our group, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Facebook group is very useful, very powerful, but I found even for myself at times, it can interfere with what I'm doing. Like, why am I checking in on the group, even though it's dealing with reselling, when I don't need a question, I don't need help with anything, and it's not free time. So yeah, I think social media with your phone it can definitely be a problem.
So I think maybe one tip, I have the Facebook group saved and I just go to the Facebook group and leave. So I don't have the distraction. And then let's see. I really just look at my mentions and then move on. But I think that there's probably good things that you can do. I think the group is very useful. In fact, um, I'm going to be using the group more as examples of what to do. So, meaning it is, I haven't been doing enough deep diving into people's good things or questionable things. For example, we had a person join the group that has 61% sell-through rate each month, and it was insane. So literally most of their stuff was selling each month, but they were selling items that like over-the-counter drugs, and that was leading to them getting suspended. So obviously it's good, yes, to list items that sell quickly, but not that jeopardize your account. And then also, I thought this is extremely useful. When I was looking at this person's account, they had items listed for $3 free shipping, 358 free shipping, $4 free shipping, because that was the market. So just because you want to make a profit doesn't mean that you can. Some books media, the market is $3.58 shipped, free shipping, free returns. So that's in order to sell that item, you've got to be 1 cent less. So that was good because the velocity of the store, if you made a mistake in purchasing when you're just getting started, it's good to get that repetition. It helps you get the enough transactions because we want everyone to get to 5 sales a day minimum, because then you qualify for the 90-day evaluation for top rated seller. Everyone should really, if you're not there yet, that should be your first goal. 5 perfect transactions a day so that you can have the that evaluation period. And what's up, Robin? Thanks for coming. Haven't seen you in a while. So phone habits. James says only call if it's an emergency. So I wonder about the do you guys have different mute and not mute? There's certain people on my phone that I have actually most people are muted during the day. I only have a couple of people where their messages can actually even get through. The only thing that my phone can do is ring or text. Are there any other what other things would be that positive? I think that almost all notifications are negative. I don't know. It's a really good topic, Brian.
Yeah, well, when you think about, like the one thing, what your focus is at that time, even if a notification is related similarly to what you're doing, like if you're shipping, and I struggle with this, like I know, tech talks about accepting offers or answering offers as soon as possible, but how do you balance that when you're in the middle of shipping or in the middle of listing? Because technically your one thing you're doing at that time shouldn't be interrupted, even if it's a possible positive outcome, because you're interrupting that flow. But what's the cost of not answering an offer right away? Typically what I would think is it would be better to like in the morning, I answer all the offers, send offers to likers, maybe pick different times during the day. Is it better to do that approach, or is it better to get sidetracked with listing or shipping or something else and always have eBay notifications or emails open? What are your thoughts on that, Chris?
I personally do things all the way to completion. So that's probably the best habit. So as an example, I was just redoing so I put the link in for the accountability sheet again, guys. And I think it's good that we have to re-enter our goal in every week. So I just delete everything at the beginning of the week. But here, all of these tasks. So what you just mentioned, customer service, which is offers, messages, cases, etc. So, okay, this is how I look at it. picking an inventory, picking, packing, printing, this should all be together. So you should do this entire thing as one habit. So you go get all your items, pack all your items, print all the items all in one habit. So don't during this habit do anything else. Don't check your phone, don't do any customer service. Do the customer service first, then so let's make this a different color. You can check this. I'll make this green anytime throughout the day, but not during any of these other tasks. So after you do your picking, packing, shipping, if you want to do customer service again, that's great. But do all the customer service, do cases, returns, questions, invoices, offers to watchers, do all the customer service again. And I put in here, it actually only takes 10 minutes. So if you want to do half an hour of customer service a day, do this 3 times a day. I personally wouldn't interrupt shipping. Also, you could ship the wrong item if you answer customer service during that. And then the photos and listing, let's make that one task. That's another thing I learned from tech. Make the photo and listing one habit together. Then I guess you could. I do think it's separate though, a little bit. The reset to 0. I consider cleaning, staging, prepping, all of that stuff is reset to 0. So I'll put that in here.
Okay. So basically those are big habit stacks, like you were talking at
These
the
are
beginning
habit
of the
stacks.
call.
Yeah.
And I guess the only difference is with offers coming in that they're not predictable. It's and we don't have a cutoff like we do with shipping. So like you were talking about a buffer. So would it maybe make sense to put a 5-minute at the end of one habit stack? Maybe you have a 5-minute section where you go into offers, like after all the shipping, then after all the photography and listing, because those are coming in randomly throughout the day. Would that make more sense?
Well, I was thinking, and I forgot who put that buffer in last week, but there was a lady, and I'm sure she's a busy mom because she put 10 minutes buffer. So I was thinking, okay, that must be a good number. So because anything can happen. So I put here, this takes only 10 minutes to do customer service. So let's start this at 6:50. We'll have the buffer. 7 o'clock. 7:30, 7:30. Okay. So now I have an answer for you, Brian. Okay. We have customer service here. It takes 10 minutes. Let's say you get an offer during your picking, packing, or printing, right? I think under no circumstances do you answer the offer during this 1 hour. It only takes an hour. The customer, I guess if you want to answer the offer immediately because the customer will be at their phone, that's great. But then also that might turn this hour-long shipping into 3 if you keep getting interrupted during if shipping only takes 1 hour. If you, I don't know, go ahead.
I was just thinking, and like you mentioned, you could also make a mistake and send the wrong item or just screw up the shipping. And ultimately, you alluded to this earlier, your account health is the most important thing. Like it doesn't matter if you have a 61% sell-through rate if your account gets banned. So I maybe thinking about the priorities of eBay maybe can guide you in creating help making these decisions.
Agreed. Okay, I'm adding in the 10-minute buffer to everything. Oops. I think it's safe to say that for 90% of people, the post office is okay. Let me just ask. Annika, there's no video explaining this thing, but we will go over it. How many people in the group round trip to the post office is longer than 20 minutes? I know for some people it is, but we don't want to base the group on the outliers. So for some people, if it's longer than 20 minutes, you just have to do it longer than an hour. You just plan the hour. But I'm going to put 20 minutes round trip. Let's see. Minute. Okay, there's some. Ryan's is an hour. Okay, I guess I'll just go ahead and put that in there. 1 hour for the post office. That's because this first part is as slow as it goes. So we'll name it as slow as it goes. And then we'll name this one as fast as it goes. So if you had a pickup, could be 0 minutes, right? You just put it at the front door. If you have the best relationship with the post office person, they would scan it for you without you helping. But let's put 0.5. I'll just put 0. It's not that if you only have 10 packages, it takes 0 time. Go ahead.
Do you recommend always getting those packages scanned when you drop them off at the post office?
Yeah, because if you don't have them scanned, it'll end up on days they don't scan to the next day or they skip or something. You will lose your top rated status. So eventually you need to figure out. I'll put that in here. Get in-person scan. Everyone who has a eBay business needs to figure this out eventually. And it's not easy because most post office workers don't want to do it. And the scan form doesn't count. Okay, so now we have a 10-minute buffer. The eBay customer service, we have 10 minutes there. Let me see. Picking, packing, printing I think this is going to be a huge hack for people doing this all in a row. Most people pick their items and they go get a coffee or do something and they pack a couple of items and then check Facebook. So don't do that. We don't need to talk about all the things you could do that suck. Let's just do all of these in a row. I was thinking, an hour is sufficient for most people for 20 items. That's 3 minutes per item. Then, I know what it is, Brian. I know why people can't do eBay because they take breaks in between these habit stacks. There's 4 habit stacks. Nobody misses the post office, right? So that's not even a habit stack. People already have that habit. The other ones is where they get held up. John?
I think the issue in the yellow section you were just highlighting is because some people have to travel to pick their items in their first place. So there's already a break in the system there in the chain because they got the car radio at that point. Their mind's already in distraction mode.
That's right. Okay, let's add that. So this is traveling to inventory storage. So that's good to know because if you have that, that's an asterisk because some people it's in their house, some people it's an hour, right? Or longer. So that's good to know. That's a great addition to this because that's why I recommend picking the storage unit that's closest to you, not the cheapest one.
And another thing, talking about habits, like I think like you were talking about standing in line to get your packages scanned, or if you're sourcing, standing in line, anytime you have dead time, instead of just sitting there, that's a good time to check offers, to check messages. If you're standing in line, to button or whatnot, to be as efficient as you can, maybe create those habits to identify where you normally have dead time, where maybe you're doing something unproductive, and find a habit that is productive.
I like that. I'm going to make these both the same color because you can do this while you're waiting. You can detag while you're waiting in line. not detag, but you could button, clean, stage the item. And customer service, you could do waiting in line also. Those are two things that you could do whenever. But
Oh.
don't do those during this.
Yeah, a little thing that I realized when I was sourcing is at first I had all these clothes on hangers and I would take it to the counter and just let the girl take them out. And then after a while, I'm like, well, that's slowing me down. So while I was standing in line, that would be another thing, take them off the hangers and anything you can do to speed up the process.
So I'm gonna have everyone get their bookkeeping to 1 hour a month or less. I just did most of my taxes for eBay for last year, and I think it only was an hour for most of it. So 1 hour a month should be enough eventually. So we need to get to the point where everyone's spending 1 hour or less on bookkeeping. Here's something. This is going to be crazy, but no 24-hour room during this. There's no reason to be in the 24-hour room during this. You can, if you want this to take longer, then get in the 24-hour room. But I'm not in the 24-hour room when I'm doing this. No one should. How can you be in a 24-hour room while you're shipping? That would make shipping way longer. Unless the only exception would be you turn on the 24-hour room and then you have the mic off and the headphones off. And people just see you. And maybe somebody can call you out and say, what are you doing? I don't know. Like during that process, this is the key. I think, okay, let me back up for just a second. These are the goals that I want for people. Just some goals that I want. Robin, I will do more content and stuff on how I do my bookkeeping because that's a common question. And I will maybe get together with Cheryl, or we can go over in her call how to get it to an hour.
Can I add something real quick on that, Chris? This is kind of unrelated to habits, but Bill in the group kind of saved me. I use GoDaddy Bookkeeping. So if you use that, and probably other people are aware, and this was a lapse on my part, that what they were doing is they have all your managed payment transactions, your sales, they counted as income, but they were also double counting my bank deposits from eBay. So basically the income was being double reported, and Bill told me about this, and I went and fixed it over the weekend, but that would have been a massive problem. So if you're using GoDaddy Bookkeeping, if you're not aware of that, you might want to look into it.
And it's going to get more complicated for a lot of people because this year I had 11 1099s, and this year I'll have more than 25 1099s because it's $600 reporting now, I think, right? So all of those, every single little thing, I will get a 1099. It seems like pretty much any kind of, your friend gives you $1,000, that's supposed to be a 1099 now. So we'll do more stuff on bookkeeping. But
Chris, does that count for flea market vendors?
I should be, but for flea market vendors, for me, I use a receipt for cash for the withdrawal. So now I'm withdrawing 3,000 a week for flea market, and that receipt is my cost of goods. That's one of the reasons why my bookkeeping is so fast, because the cost of goods for me takes 1 minute. It's just 3,000 times 4.3 weeks. That's it.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm switching over to something similar, so I was trying to figure out how you calculate that.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I want everyone bookkeeping in 1 hour a month. And then here, overall goal, 20 listings in 8 hours or less. But okay, this is a little insane, okay? Because let me just make sure the math is right. I'm giving everybody 8 hours, right? But optimized, it's only an hour and a half. Everyone has all the processes totally dialed in. 20 listings would only take you an hour and a half. So that's essentially 6.5 hours of wasting time to stretch it out to 8 hours. But that's okay. but this is as slow as it can go. You can't be slower than any of these processes. If they are slower, we will just get together and fix them. So everyone should be able to do 20 listings in 8 hours or less. I have now 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see. There are 4, hold on. I think 4 buffers now. 12:30. I'll adjust. I think, let's see, 6:30 to 6:40, 10-minute break. Then 10-minute break, 10-minute break, 10-minute break. So you could have 4 cups of coffee, still do it. And if your coffee break takes longer than 10 minutes, then we also need to talk. 10 minutes is plenty to have a cup of coffee. Let's see. Mandy says 1099 took 5 minutes to send out too. That's absolutely right. I was a little worried about how hard it would be to send 1099s, but it was not hard at all. It was actually very easy. Let's see. Okay, so this is full time. I want everyone to be able to bookkeeping in an hour. Okay, then this group should be worth it if you get 1 idea a year. Seriously, like the idea of the 10-minute buffer is worth $350 already, because now you will not fail a lot less because you have that 10-minute buffer now, and give yourself some grace. But then when 6:40 comes up, don't wait 10 minutes, just start the next one. So you have that buffer. So instead of wasting the 10 minutes in between these 4 sections, just get done 40 minutes earlier. And then if your uncle calls and wants to talk to you about the game, you can talk to them or him for 30 minutes and you don't miss your goal. Isaiah has that. He has these social things that he has to do. Just build some buffer in so that you can take a break and help a kid with their homework or go talk to grandma and still reach your goal.
Yeah, and I was listening to, like, I'm binge watching all the shoe calls, and on one of them, Isaiah was talking about how he's most productive from 7 to 4. He's aware of that, and kind of going back to that sheet and looking at it and tying in the habits. It's like you have all these habit stack. I think that's the goal, right? Is like during the customer service, all those actions are habit stacked. Even before that, the coffee, and whether you meditate or stretch or whatever, like developing your day where it's nothing but a giant habit stack loop where you don't have to think, because ultimately the power of habits is freeing up your mental cognition because you're on autopilot. And then what I've noticed, the more I habit stack, the more brain power I have at the end of the day. I'm not wiped out. I have something left where I'm not a zombie.
Absolutely. And okay, let me back up for a second. Thank you for bringing that up. I have to add that. This is huge. Okay. I want people to have energy left to do what they want. This is really important because if you do not do this, you will not have energy. If you stretch this out into this as slow as it goes column, you'll be done. You'll be completely spent at the end of the day. You'll be a zombie with your family. If you take this long to do it, you can't. Everyone's got to make this, streamline this way down. So it only takes 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours to do it. Because, okay, let's be honest. If you ever had a day job, usually you don't work the entire time, right? With the exception of manual labor, that you work the entire time. Other jobs that are not manual labor, you only work by some job estimates, only 2 hours of the 8 people are actually working. So you do not want to stretch this out because you will not have energy left. And you won't be, it's almost like you're not even with your family at all if you're too tired. So that's a goal. Tom, then Kevin.
Hi, Chris. Thank you.
What's up?
Yeah, my issue, my bottleneck at the moment is photos. Not taking the photos, but transferring the photos when I drop them onto eBay.
Yep.
My camera seems to, and I think it's because I do flat lay. My camera seems to put the pictures in different orders, like sideways, landscape, upside down. Some
Yep.
of them are in the right way. So someone suggested, I've had a couple of suggestions from the group about rotating and flipping the photos on Windows. But when it's like 400 photos, it actually takes quite a lot of time to do that. And because they're all not just one rotation, some need two rotations, some need click right, click left. So I need to figure out a way, because that's taking me. So my listings at the minute, my photos do in a minute and a half to 2 minutes, pretty quick. My listing process at the moment is 6 minutes. And the main bulkhead of that is rotating and flipping and sorting photos, because that's actually taking me 3 minutes. I've timed it between 2.5 and 3 minutes on 11 photos. So if I can take that out, that issue, that's going to reduce my listing process to about 3 minutes, which is great. 3.5 minutes, which is where I want to be at. But I really don't know. I'm out of solutions on how to lock my screen on my camera in portrait mode so the photos don't flip about.
Okay, fantastic. And I just added that to the call or the group goals. Everyone needs to be able to upload their photos onto their computer perfectly with no rotation. You have to have that. There cannot be anyone in the group that has to rotate photos. So this is okay, Tom, because I don't know the solution to your problem, but that's a perfect topic for the group.
Because the thing is as soon as I've got the solution to that issue, I'm shaving off 3 minutes a listing.
Perfect. I want everyone in the group to have that. If you use a memory card, certain memory cards and certain browsers and certain setups will create that. And then once you have it set up, get one more of that camera, one more of that computer, one more of that memory card. Don't let that go away.
I tried Tech give me some great advice. He said to use the same browser, the Firefox browser that he used. But the issue with that is my computer doesn't like it, because it's such an old browser. So it doesn't like it. Now the other solution is change my whole photo process. So instead of doing flat lay, I do vertical flat lay. So if I do vertical flat lay, the camera's not flipping about. It's going to be set in one motion. So that's one solution, but that means changing my whole photo process from flat lay to vertical flat lay. And that's not something I can do with the amount of listings that I'm doing on a daily basis. I can do overnight. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
So why not just get a different camera or like buy an iPhone 8 and then you don't have this issue anymore?
Because I shouldn't need to buy another camera. The camera's sufficient. It's the same camera as Tech. I've spent good money on it, and I don't want to use my phone. The fact that I can plug my camera into my computer and
Thomas.
Some interference there. I can't really hear people.
Thomas, can I jump in real quick? Can we break that process down real quick? Because I think, are you rotating in your listing when you upload, and then it's in the listing and you're rotating it?
I was at first, but now I'm rotating in the photos, in the window itself, in pictures.
Are you opening up a new window in order to rotate that photo? Or are you
yes, but either way, it's
hold on.
An extra step I don't want to do.
I understand that. I understand that we're just trying to come to a solution. So maybe just let's break down what's going on exactly, because there might be some shortcuts in there. You know what I'm saying? So if you open up the picture and then you rotate it.
Yes.
Are you using Windows?
Well, I open up, so I take my memory card out of my Canon, put it into the computer, and transfer the photos onto the computer that way.
Oh, wait,
you're not using a Mac.
Tom,
you're not using a Mac, correct?
Hold on a second. Tom, why can't you leave the photos on the hard drive?
Sorry, what do you mean, Chris?
I don't recommend that you move the photos onto your computer.
Yeah, no, the reason I'm doing that is because my USB port failed on me last week. So before I used to just plug it into the USB port and do it that way, but that failed. So now I'm having to, it's another step. I'm having to take the memory, the card out and plug that into the computer and drag the photos over, which is
but I'm saying, why do you have to drag the photos over? Why can't you drag the photos from the memory card onto the listing?
Oh yeah, I can do that. I just drag it onto my photos because otherwise it stores it on my OneDrive, and I don't want it to do that.
Okay, one more idea for people. I know equipment and budget is a factor here, but like anything under $5,000 that makes your system better is worth it. It's like everyone needs to be able to plug their memory card into their computer and it immediately works. Or if you airdrop, if you do under 400 photos, you can airdrop perfectly. But anyway, we literally spent 6 months talking about this topic, so I don't want to talk about it that much.
Yeah.
But I do want your solution, your problem to be fixed. So I want you to post it in the group, and then we will troubleshoot it. But we'll do it one step at a time and knock it out. But
that question, sorry to interrupt, Chris, but just to answer the question the last guy said about breaking the issue down. I understand that, but you can break it down as much as you want, to be fair, but I'm still having to rotate pictures, and I don't want to rotate pictures.
Then you have to get a different setup.
Can I say one quick thing, Chris?
Go ahead.
Tom, so I think it's important that you take a minute and look at how much time that's taking you each day to do that, and do a quick calculation on how much that's costing you, because I think there's a lot of solutions, whether that's buying a different camera that can lock the screen, or buying a cheap used iPhone or something like that. And there's a lot of things that you can do that are going to cost you less than that issue is costing you.
That's a good point. It's less cost than adjusting the existing one. But I don't want to talk about photos, because we literally talked about it for 6 months. But Robin?
Can I just, I just want to challenge the group mindset on this.
Okay.
We're constantly, I don't know, I haven't been there in 5 months. Maybe you guys don't do this anymore, but it seems because of who we are as resellers and as people that like cobble multiple streams of income together and make it work for us, we're always looking to hack what we have to make it work. And I would argue that if your camera cannot take pictures in the right direction, then your camera does not work perfectly fine. It is not a perfectly good camera, because it is not doing the job that you need it to do. And you don't have to hack that. You can be mad about it. You can be frustrated. That's fine. Like, we can all talk about how that sucks, and it's a system that like it should be able to do this. But if it can't, you have to move on from it. You can't just keep doing something that doesn't work for you just because it's the way you do it. And you can't hack everything. Sometimes you have to just fix it.
You haven't been here for a little bit, Robin, but we did switch the calls. So the calls are now only productivity. So there's no more therapy, and there's no more struggle. Okay, and like this is maybe brutal, but like I was listening to Kobe Bryant, and he was talking about if you're not a gym rat, or you're not in the on the basketball court all day, then he doesn't have time for you. That's how we need this group to be, because I want everyone in this group to have all these things. So we can't now the group is huge now, Robin. So we can't let people drag down the group. So unfortunately, it's now leaving people behind, because when you have an issue with any of these tasks, all you have to do is post your issue in the group, and everyone will help you. But this forum for the morning call, we can't talk about it because it doesn't work. Can't have. Now every single call, there's like at least 1,000 people who listen to it over the course of the time. So we can't do that. But Stacy, I want to get to everyone. Go ahead. Ryan.
Just real quick. And don't forget, guys, we have Mark who does photo calls, and he's the group expert. And I guarantee you he could help you.
Yep. We have a person for this problem.
I already tried. And we've given all the suggestions already that we could. If text suggestion about the browser didn't work, and if the tilt didn't work, and if the switch, rotating didn't work, it's time for a new camera. Either that or do the vertical flat lay.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go with Kevin.
Yeah, just for those of us that have work schedules, can we adjust this? Like mine differs every day.
Yep.
Should we make up one of these schedules every day?
So do you mean that your work schedule is different every day at work?
Yes, like Monday is most of my Mondays are the same. Most of my Tuesdays are the same. Just make up one of these, like by a calendar or something like that.
That's a great question. Okay, there's a couple things you can do. You could block all of this time. Like, so that first, as you start figuring out how long all this stuff takes, you could block this time. So like fully optimize this process takes like 2 hours. How I would do it with a full-time job is I would do the whole thing before work. Because when does your day job start?
8 o'clock.
Okay, so I would be done by 8 o'clock every single day, and I would not deal with it during my work day because my work day is always random. So since I can control my eBay store, I don't want that to be random. I don't want this call to be random because it would suck. It needs to be at the same time every day. So
right.
But if you're going to try to do some eBay during the day, then the way I would look at it is just in order. So, okay, now I have time to do this habit stack. I'll do the picking pack mission. Okay, now I have time to do the customer service one. Okay, now I have time to do photos listing. So I would knock out these complete blocks. And in this group, it's not required, but we highly recommend doing the photos and listing in the same session, same habit. So the way I would do it is if your schedule is different all 7 days, all 5 days at work, you could do 5 different schedules, but I think that's too hard. It has to be have to have some kind of a rock.
Yeah. Well, I started getting up at 6 in the morning so I can do the customer service, shipping, and if there's any time, I do some clothes cleaning and prepping for the evening. And then I go to work as I'm listening to the call. I took today off. That's why I'm home. Again, it varies. And then some days at work, I can take a break and go do sourcing. So, and then when I get home is when I do the photographing and listing and more customer service. So that's kind of my schedule. So I just kind of like tweak what you're doing to fix it in.
One more thing I think is cool about what you just mentioned. Let's say you have extra time during the day. Knock out one more of these. I'm going to put this one in green because this one makes you more money. So if you have more time, knock out one more photo listing session during your day. And that's how I would approach it. So let's say maybe your goal is only 5 listings a day, or even 1 listing a day. So you take your photograph, list your item. That's we've established that's one thing. And you have extra time, you can knock out 1 more of those throughout the day. And that will be huge for, because I think if you set your goal too high, that's why we had the buffer now, and you miss your goal 1 day or 3 days in a row, and then you give up on your dream. Let's not do that. Let's everyone set their goals more reasonably lower. Then if you can do extra credit, go for it. But I just put on my Instagram yesterday. I think most people missed the point. 1 listing a day is the minimum effort, I think. And that's $3,650 at $10 profit. That's a lot at the very minimum effort. So we want to get to that first, but let's get to Stacy. Stacy, question, feedback?
Yeah, it's not really regarding this. It was just more of using this as best practices. I don't know if this is something we can do right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I was just wondering if anyone has had any ideas on how, or trying to get items into my bag sometimes can be a little bit of a struggle. And I was just wondering if there's some sort of shoehorn or a good methodology to get it in without, because I find that it takes me too long sometimes, and maybe I just need to use a bigger bag. But and also sometimes I get a glare on my phone, which so I can't exactly see the photograph as it's being taken. I just wasn't sure if there was something that someone has come across that helps them with these particular issues.
What size is your shoe bag?
I have a few different sizes. I think the one that when it's a bigger bag, it goes in easier. So maybe just standardizing them might be better. But something like 10 by 13, 9 by 8 by 10, and 9 by 12, and 10 by 13. So just based on like the item, I try using.
Do you have a 12 by
different bag.
15?
I do.
Okay, that should fit. Sorry, Landon, go ahead. Sorry, Landon, I accidentally muted you. I don't know if Landon had an answer.
Stacy, I have one suggestion that I found, like if you want to use up bags or something, if you take a piece of like cardboard or even a flat rate envelope and you fold it in half with the item in it and you put that into the envelope and you can kind of push it in.
Like a little shoehorn. Okay.
Yeah, it's like you use a piece of cardboard as a shoehorn, but ultimately down the line, having a bigger bag is much easier.
And I think one shoe at a time.
It's closed mostly.
Yeah.
I just meant shoehorn as the methodology of sliding it in quickly without having to like mess around with it and having it still stay nicely folded.
Got it.
The folded cardboard works as a good shoe.
Yeah, folded cardboard is a great way to do that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you.
What was the other part of your question?
Oh,
the glare.
Because like my setup is like floor lamps that I have, and so sometimes I get kind of right under it and like I can't see exactly. So I just wasn't sure if that was something that I could potentially fix.
I think that means that if you have glare on your phone, there's too much direct light. So somehow diffuse the light to reduce the glare on your phone. That would be the the lights that are on my item are different than the lights in the room for me. So I don't have the glare, but if the lights were in that area, it would actually, I don't know if you could turn down the brightness on your phone. But yeah, that is a perfect scenario to take a picture of your setup so that we can all adjust it.
Awesome, thank you.
Patty?
So, excuse my voice, I have COVID, so.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah. I put the pictures in the Facebook group because I don't really know how else to explain it. I don't know if you want to look at it, but when you go to print, this is a shipping label printing issue.
Okay.
All right. So when you go and you purchase your shipping label, mine now on eBay, it pops up and it says print QR code or print label. Okay. I hit print label and then it pulls up another window and then I have to hit print again. And then it pulls up another window and then I have to hit print again. And then I have to hit print again. I'm trying to avoid hitting print so many times. I called eBay. There's no way to change shipping or printing preferences on eBay. Like to get rid of that QR option. Like it would be nice if you could just hit print label and it just printed.
Okay.
Does anybody know any way to solve that issue? That's more of a process issue. Sorry. If anybody else has that issue, I have a Dymo, so that's what I put.
Isn't it down if you scroll down to the bottom of the page? Because I had a time when my printer broke and I had to do that. And I think it's down at the bottom of the page when you're buying the label. You can't see it on the screen, but if you scroll down, it gives you the option, I think, unless they changed it. But that was about November that I did that.
And if you can tag me, I will look at it. I know everyone's printing setup is a bit different. I on my printing, I do have to click print 3 times. I think everyone's browser is different, printer is different. So this is a perfect opportunity to do a screenshot and then tag me and I will look at it, because I am curious too, because mine is not optimized either. I just roll with it. I have to click print 2 more times, but I have not spent the time to fix it because it takes less than 1 second to click it 2 more times. But every browser is really wonky. You got to like look at the
yeah, it was nice before because if you hit print, it just printed.
I know. I had that before. I changed something.
Yeah, they changed something and I just didn't. And I was like, for me, it was just recent, like these QR, like I don't need a QR code. I don't,
Yeah, I got
there should have been like an opt-out option. Like if you don't need QR code, then.
Yeah, you and I toggled something that needs to be untoggled, but tag me in the everyone do that because I want to start doing more troubleshooting. That's a good use of everyone's time. When somebody posts something, we try to solve it. That way we can always refer back to it.
Yeah, I put it up there. If it's not clear, I'm sorry. I'll have to wait till I have another. I did all my shipping last night and just took photos when I was, of the screen.
Also, from my long list of friends who've gotten COVID, I think it's faster to fully rest than to slowly heal. I don't know. I haven't gotten it yet, but from what I've heard,
it's like a nasty cold.
Yeah.
It's not, honestly, the flu's worse.
Fair enough. Thomas, what's up?
I think this is allowed. So when you print your labels, I saw that I have the Rolo too. I saw that you let the whole roll print out and then you pull a label off. I rip the whole label off, peel it off, and then throw the peel away and then put the label on.
Yeah.
I find that if I let the whole roll run out, when I try to peel one off, I end up still pulling the thing off. And then I'm wasting more time rather than just pulling it off to begin with. So I was wondering, why do you do that as opposed to just peel the whole thing off and throw it away?
So I don't know if it's because I'm more gentle, because I see what you're saying. When it's rolling out and you pull from the bottom, it'll sometimes tear the teeth, like the teeth of the top part where it cuts the Rolo will tear. And if it tears, they might as well just tear the whole thing off. But I just think that I'm trying to avoid the tearing motion to save another fraction of a second, and I'm peeling from the bottom. Are you of the roll? Is that where you're peeling as well? I might film it again later.
Gotcha. I guess with the first peel, it's a little tricky because there's not as much surface area.
That's right. The first peel is tricky.
Okay.
Can I chime in here?
Yeah.
I've noticed, if I understand Thomas's question correctly, I do it Chris's way, because when this is in the printer right here and I tear it off, I notice that I get a lot of little dust. And it gets in my printer and start getting lines to where the post office can't read the barcode anymore.
I see.
So I don't tear it off until it gets, and I peel it like you do, but I don't tear it off until either the end of my day or it gets too long on the floor, and then I tear it off after the printer.
Oh, that's a pro tip.
So that the tear is far away from the printer itself.
I never even thought about that. That is a pro of no dust collecting in the print feeder.
Yeah. I don't have to clean it near as often.
Yeah, I like the idea. It goes for me directly into the garbage can.
Right. I saw that. I don't have to fix that. So
I got you. And then I flick that's right. When I peel off the poly mailer thing, I can flick it I have set it up before where I can flick it and then my hand is already right there to peel off the label.
Yeah.
But I have time to peel it off and put it up there. But I've never torn it one label below. That's really smart. I will do that to keep what Thomas was saying. The first label is kind of hard to pull off. Let's see. Yeah, Linda, I guess COVID is very different for a lot of people. For some people, they didn't even know they get it. Other people die. That's how big the variance is. So very, 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 very different for everyone. Also, I've had great success with the flat labels, the fan fold ones. Just ordering the big stack. That's been awesome. So the bubble wrap company, American Bubble Boy, that was everything. Let me see if he emailed me back. Let's see. Apparently he was recommending, he gave me a long, let me see if I can get it. He gave me a best practices for how to store bubble wrap. Let me see. He said, I thought this is interesting. Most people don't have the space to store a lot of bubble wrap. I recommend just keeping 1 month of bubble wrap and ordering 2 weeks before you need it. So that's, I don't know if that's good best practices for everyone with every kind of supplies, but some people get bogged down with way too many supplies. Like if you ordered a lifetime of padded flat rate envelopes, it might get in the way. Hopefully you have space to put them somewhere. Let's see. This. Okay, I'll have to put together a best practice because this week I'm shipping all of the random, I'm shipping 17 lots to people from the reseller event on Saturday, which is a lot of fun. And they're all weird, awkward. So it'll be interesting packing those up and getting those ready to ship to people. There was only one lot that was small. Somebody won an iPod Touch that was brand new, an iPad and an iPhone. That one will be easy to ship. Everything else will be crazy.
Are you going to do a follow-up YouTube video on that for us interested folks?
She's editing it. It's really cool because I want to talk about this for people's death piles as well, because they're moving to Florida and his wife was literally mind blown because what happened was we separated it in the 50 lots. 17 people or 18 people came. All of the lots were taken, like everyone helped everybody to load the stuff into their cars. We looked up comps on everything. And that event was so humbling because people knew their niches so well. The G.I. Joe stuff really blew my mind because it was really, I was able to look up all the G.I. Joe stuff on Solds, no problem. But there was a toy guy there that was like, these aren't considered, I wouldn't consider these toys. This is toy parts. And he knew what they were worth without looking it up. That blew my mind. Like a broken G.I. Joe tank, he knew what it was worth. How would you know that? That's amazing. But that must mean most G.I. Joe tanks you find out in the wild are missing something. You know, so he knew all kinds of stuff. And the video game people, that's a niche that's, I think, really good because they were able to look up which games they would pick, which things they would pick up at a garage sale. This controller I would pick up. This one I wouldn't. This console is worth shipping. This one's not. It's just like, there's no way to know all of that in every category. It was amazing. So also the shortest event in history. If I were to, the raffle only took 5 minutes. People walked up, they rolled the little bingo ball thing. The ball popped out. They got their number. They walked over to their lot, put it in their car. It was so fast. It was only an hour and a half event. But that's because we were socializing and pricing everything out. And people didn't even drink the coffee. It's a fast event. Came and go. So if we do that, or I mean, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. The wife was like, we should just do this as part of our model every month or every quarter. Because you do a lot of buyouts to get the stuff. Then you're left with all the things that are not in your category. So she's like, when you do a yard sale, you have to be there all day. If we did a quick raffle with all the local resellers, they would all come because that's who showed up, all resellers. And they traded the things they didn't want. But yeah.
Sounds like you need to start doing storage auctions, Chris.
The storage auction thing is also truly gambling because you don't know what it is. This was interesting because everyone could look at all the lots. So at the end, there were 2 lots left and people just buy it now. The people in that niche, there was a whole box of electronics a lady bought for 50. And I ended up, there was only 1 lot left at the end and it was the Raiders sign. So I won my own thing back again. So now I got to get rid of it because I don't want to fix the neon. So I ended up with the neon sign again, which is my videographer is like, what are the odds of you getting the same item you tried to give away? I think it's 2%. I just put it on my Instagram. Oh, also it made me feel like a grandpa because I posted on my TikTok and Instagram little thing about the event, and 2 kids came from that were like, we saw your TikTok when we were in the area and we came to the event. And I was like, oh, can I get some tips on how to do it better? And they're like, we're pretty much over TikTok. So I was like, wow, just as I was figuring it out, they're done. They're done with it. So there was a vintage event also that I went to that I was so left out. Pretty much everyone at the event was half my age. So it's too late for me to be cool. I don't fit in. I don't fit in. And I don't know what's after TikTok. I'll have to figure it out from the people that are in it. But I guess I did get one tip, which was you're supposed to play the music in the background. Whatever popular song is trending, you can play that in the background so that you'll show up in that search, plus your hashtags for your information. But there's a lot of really good kids that are good at reselling, and they're in there. But gotta roll. There's my alarm.